So, as a quick little intro, and for those who don't know what 8 rack is, it's a deck in the modern format that utilizes the card known as the rack. What the rack does is at the beginning of each player's upkeep, or at the beginning of the opponent's upkeep, they will take X damage, where X is 3 minus the number of cards in their hand. So the goal is get your opponent empty-handed and watch as this absolutely destroys them over time. It's called 8 rack because you run 8 rack effects. Currently we're running 2 Shrieking Affliction, which will, if they have 1 or less, they lose 3 life. And then Davriel, where if they have 1 or less in hand, they take 2. So we run 8 rack effects. And then discard effects, we run a nice good old 15. We either make them discard 2 or use Liliana, where we both discard a card, or we take a look at their hand and grab things from their hand. And then the fun part, the attack package, is things like Lightning Skelemental, which forces them to discard if it connects, and Seasoned Pyromancer, which allows us to draw if we need to draw. And then we also run Unearth, so that way we can get back any of these guys. And then we run 8 removal spells, just as removal. And for the sideboard, we've got Obosh, the Prey Piercer. His companion mechanic is our deck only contains odd mana costs and lands, which, as you can see, everything is either 1 or 3 in this deck. There is no 2, there is no 4 or higher. So we'll always meet that cost. And then if a source would deal damage to a permanent or player, it'll deal double that instead. So if we get to 5 mana and manage to land this Obosh, Rack will start dealing, instead of up to 3, it'll either deal 2, 4, or 6. This will still only deal 3 because it is loss of life, it isn't damage. And then Davriel will be 4. So it's a fun little thing. And then we run Surgicals because we're making them discard. We'll get whatever they need out of their hand and then remove it from their deck permanently. We run Bone Crusher Giant as more removal and another creature. And then we run 4 exile effects for the graveyard because Luris is a archetype running rampant, which allows people to recast from the graveyard. Then there's Pillage to either destroy lands or artifacts, and Anger the Gods to kill creatures and exile them instead. That is the quick, brief rundown of the deck. I have not seen this in action yet, but it looks really fun, so let's see how well we can do with it. There we go. We won. We would love to play first, I believe. We'll reveal the Obosh, because why not? They did not reveal a companion, which is rather interesting. And we keep this because it's a bunch of 1-drops and a Thoughtseize turn 1. So we will go Blood Crypt, we will pay the 2 life to have it enter untapped, and then we will Thoughtseize them. So we'll be at 16, but we'll know exactly what they're on and how to best beat it. Okay. Ad nauseum. So... we take the Thassa's Oracle. So Ad Nauseam is a deck where they try to combo off using the card ad nauseum, which allows them to draw their entire deck, and then they kill you on the spot. So we're looking to try to avoid being dead by turn 4. We could have taken the Lotus Bloom as a way to try to slow down their mana since they only had that Dark Slick Shores. But I don't know if that's necessarily what we wanted to be doing. Removing one of their win cons from their hand seems pretty strong. I have to hope that they're not on multiple Thassa's Oracles. Okay. So we can go Orborg. And I guess we'll go ahead and just reveal that we are Rack. And hope that we can hit a land drop here. Because if we can make them discard 2, they won't be sitting pretty. So we know about these 3. They've got 2 unknowns in hand. Okay. So if we can hit this land and we can do this Mind Rake, we will be in a very good position from the aspect of they will have not much. Because they're at 6. Well, there's their planes. So here comes 2 mana Pentat on 2. So they'll go down to 4. We need this land off the top here. Make them discard 2. Land off the top. Swamp, swamp, swamp. Mind Rake. Discard 2 cards, bud. So we're forcing them into a very awkward situation here because they need a couple of cards in order to be able to win. The more that we can just disrupt their hand, the better off we are. We're kind of just lame ducks now with this Bolt and the Unearth in hand, though. We need to draw some of our answers. But like these surgicals are going to come in. And I think that's it. Just that and cut on our removal because they do not play creatures. They run Thassa's Oracle and that's it. And if that creature hits the battlefield, you've already lost the game. Pact of Negation and Phyrexian Unlife. Interesting. Understandable. They couldn't pack that. They wouldn't have had the mana. They would have lost on their turn unless they used Angel's Grace. They take 1. That suspend comes down. Okay. They've got 3 in hand. Awkward. We will cycle this Unearth. Okay. And then we'll go ahead and bolt their face. So next turn we're looking at either Davriel or Skelemental. unless we are dead on the spot here. Right, because this Lotus Bloom's coming down. Yep. So they will have 3 mana, 5 mana. That's enough for Ad Nauseam. And then they will have the Plains to play for Angel's Grace. So if they have Ad Nauseam in hand in their other 3 unknown cards, we lose. And it looks like they do because they're going for the Angel's Grace. Spoils. Okay. So they can spoils for Ad Nauseam here and live. One, two, three, four. Okay. So I think they have enough lands. They're going to add double black, crack that, add triple black, Ad Nauseam, and go 40 cards deep. And because they played that Angel's Grace, it doesn't matter that they're losing life. All of these cards are entering the revealed zone. Interesting. So good to note that they are on multiple Thassa's Oracles, a pact of multiple packs. There's the Lightning Storm. There's the third Simian Spirit Guide. And it is... Lightning Storm is 2x, right? X plus 3, discarding is 2. Yeah. 2, 4, 6, 8. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. I don't know why they're doing it this way. Unless they wanted to go for the Thassa's Oracle. Okay, they wanted to go for the Thassa's Oracle. That's fine. We know that they're on multiple oracles, so surgicals are good. Pushes aren't. Pillages aren't bad here. So bringing 2 pillage over these pushes. Bring in a pillage over a bolt. So we should have taken the Lotus Bloom there. Would have slowed them down a bit more. Just from the aspect of they wouldn't have been able to make 3 mana in a turn. Yeah, we'll take the play. Now, granted, they could have gone spoils for a card that they didn't have. I really don't like the triple double red pips, but that's fine. This, make sure we click on the Blood Crypt. Yes, pay 2 life, and Thoughtseize this person. Spoils, Grace, Thassa, and Unlife. We'll take a Thassa. Hopefully this will be enough. Okay, there's the City of Brass. Orborg into play. Surgical, their Thassa. Pay the mana. Let's see what they brought in for hate against us, if anything. So they could Pact of Negation here and then use this City of Brass to tap for a white and play the Angel's Grace that we know about as they're out to being able to keep their Thassa's Oracles. because then it makes their only way to win using Lightning Storm. But okay, so they didn't have the Pact of Negation. They brought in Veil of Summers, and they removed. Yeah, they straight up removed their other win con. Let's get a picture of their deck. Okay. Yeah, hard to win when you have no win con. Glad they conceded that. So now they're going to be putting back in the quadruple ley line's a bit concerning. Reveal Obosh. Red, black, skeletal, serum environment. Yeah. Looks keepable to me. Well, we're not doing any discarding early. Temple of Deceit, Scry. No Leyline of Sanctities, so that's pretty good for us. Oh, they also, in game 2, they removed all of their pacts. Interesting. Okay. Swamp Shrieking Affliction. Last turn. And they shall keep it, and let's see what they do. There's a City of Brass into probably Pentad Prism. Yep. Okay. Marsh Flats, play out rack. Pass turn. Because we can get Healed the rack. They'll get this Lotus Bloom off. They have 5 in hand. Paying costs, so Unlife's coming down. Yep. We will pass it. So they won't lose the game for having 0 or less life, and then they'll start taking damage in form of Infect. We're gonna crack this, go get Blood Crypt. We're not shocking that in. Okay. So, red, black, Skelemental. Combat. Swing for 6. And now they have to discard 2. They discard Pentad Prisms. We have to sacrifice our Skelemental. They take 1 off of the rack. This comes off of suspension. So are we dead? That's what this comes down to. Are the 3 cards left in their hand enough to kill us? Doesn't seem like it, because our opponent's not going for it. Our opponent's trying to figure out how they can live longer. Or Okay, Oracle. That's fine. So they play out the 1/3. We really don't care too much about that card. So they get to put a scry 2. They put a card on top. We draw that. So we go Orborg, black, 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 Mindrake, cast, target them. They discard 2. What do we see here? Angel's Grace and Simian Spirit Guide. We'll go ahead and bolt because this makes them shuffle. So bolt, cast, click on Thassa, pay 2 life. Now they don't know what's on top. So they're in pure top deck mode. They cut a Thassa, brought back in a Lightning Storm. Okay. So they lose 3, they take 3, they're down to 4. Black spoils. Spoils for ad nauseum, and to kill us. Wow, that was just the next card. Unfortunate. They go down to 3, and then they reveal their entire deck. Oh well. It's ad nauseum. We're not suited well against combo. I was surprised that we almost got there. So 1 Simian, 2 Simian. They haven't played a land for the turn, so they also have City of Brass, so we are dead. I'll just let them put their triggers onto the stack, make sure they know how their cards work. So they didn't overdraw, they didn't lose to that. They played out an island. So what? I mean, I'm assuming you're going Simian, blue, Lightning Storm me. I'm assuming it's also not going to take them 14 minutes to do this, so we should concede. Because the one card we have is Seasoned Pyromancer. Just waiting for them to put the Lightning Storm spell onto the stack. Yeah, we'll go ahead and concede. We don't have a land. We're not going to make them do all those triggers. We will see what we would have drawn off of Seasoned Pyromancer. Pillage and a Lily. We wouldn't have been able to play either of those. So even with that spoils, we were still going to die. Dang. Oh well. Here's our first loss of the night. Or second loss of the night. First loss with the deck. But hey. Okay. Hopefully we'll get a little bit better matchup. Not an ad nauseum matchup. That's just not a fun matchup to try to navigate. Okay. Queues are getting a bit long. Don't recognize the name, sadly. It's a fun one to say. Thoughtseize, Davriel, push. Yeah, we keep. Oh, yes, they're mulliganing. Yes, they're mulliganing. So they didn't reveal, which makes me think Tron. But with them starting at 5 and us wanting them at 0, that's pretty good. Okay. Veteran Shock and Thoughtseize. Oh, it's Boggles? Well, there goes your Boggle. They now no longer have a creature to equip. So this Fatal Push does nothing in our hand, but hey. That's fine. Mountain. Slot Seize again. So they hit another land. We'll take the Ethereal Armor. Temple Garden, Shocked in, Glade Cover, into Rancor. Okay. Not so great for us as seeing that our other effect, or our rack effect, is currently Davriel. But hey. That's fine. We'll still make them discard. And we'll hit them for 2. So they have no cards in hand. They're in top deck mode, and top deck mode only problem is they can play everything. I'm assuming that's coming at Davriel. Yep. We need another rack effect here in order to start to be able to close this game out. Hey, that's a pretty good one. Black. Actually, undo that. Let's just Inquisition them. Leyline of Sanctity. Okay. Pass the turn. We're not afraid of anything that they could drop here. Spider Umbra. Spider Umbra, if it was a creature, would be destroyed. Too bad Sacrifice is not destroy. So we are in the clear to Liliana downtick. Liliana. Sacrifice a creature. Rancor goes back to their hand. That's fine. And we pass the turn back to them. We're at 9, which is extremely low, but they can't really do anything. Each player discards a card. They discarded a Leyline. Go ahead and Thoughtseize them here. Just remove as much as possible from their hand. We can go ahead and cycle this unearth because we need to draw action. Because every chance that we give them, they can draw a creature. Cycle. Okay, not great. Each player discards a card. Lily, discard Dev, discard the push. That, Devriel, game is ended. Yep. Okay. So. Again, this is a matchup where Bolt and Push are kind of useless. So let's go to the pushes. Let's bring in Surgical Extractions because Push is strictly worse than Bolt. They didn't reveal Aluris, but I feel that was probably them mistaking. So bring in these. Cut 2 Lightning Bolt. And do we want Anger or Pillage? Not really. Reveal our Obosh. Thoughtseize, Lantern, Mind Ring, Shrieking Affliction. Hard to say no to this hand. They went to 6. Looks like they're going to be keeping it 6. Which is all that really matters. Okay. Blade cover Scout. More Mindrake. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize them, see what they've got. Sentinel's Eyes. I really don't like Spider Umbra, but I really don't want them having ethereal armor. So we'll leave them with the slightly better card. Okay. Because now it's a 3/3. We don't really have a way to deal with it, but they also have no cards in hand, or they've got 1 card in hand. So the Shrieking Affliction is going to hurt them. And that's exactly what we needed off the top. We'll go ahead and have that enter tapped and just play out the Shrieking Affliction and pass the turn. They take 3. They play out their land, they play out their Rancor, and we take some damage, but it doesn't matter because we are going Lily down tick. And they will be exiling. There we go, we're at 10, but again, they won't have anything. Lily, down tick, sack a creature. So this isn't a Luris list because they definitely didn't reveal a Luris. Well, it's not a Luris list because they're running Leyline of Sanctity. All right, Boggles doesn't want to play that match. There we go. Jund? No, this is strictly Rakdos. The list is this fun list. So the idea is, where it's mainly just the good old rack package of Davriel, Rack, and Shrieking Affliction. Yeah. Then we've got a couple Skelementals and Pyromancers, which we can re-unearth. We've got removal and just a couple suboptimal things because we want to use Obosh to be cutesy. So it's a little land heavy, no real threat. But turn 1 Thoughtseize is hard to pass up. Just because it tells us exactly what our opponent's on. Dang it! Why? Why does it have to be ad nauseum for the second time this league? Not a fun matchup to have to navigate. So we will go ahead and play out this Marsh Flats. Pass the turn. So with the scry, they put on bottom. That probably a Pentad Prism's coming down here. Yep. So 2 unknowns in their hand. We'll go ahead and crack this for a Blood Crypt tapped. We go Lockthane, Lily, uptick, discard our bolt. Yeah. Forces them to have like Angel's Grace. Okay, Spoils is gone. Interesting. Makes me think that they picked up an ad nauseum there. Visions. They get the scry. So we know that they have Pentad Prism and Pact of Negation. So what? White, red. Pentad for 2, so that way they have enough to ad nauseum. Okay. Let's see what we draw here. We draw another bolt, which is kind of mediocre. Oh, we'll go ahead and uptick. Discard this swamp. They discard a monkey. So fetch Blood Crypt. Shock it in. Red, red, black. Seasoned Pyromancer. ETB. Discard this bolt to make ourselves a 1/1. And then we draw a Shrieking Affliction. Not terrible. We just need to get to the point where we can cast it. We need another discard outlet, like a Mind Rake off the top here. Which we can go digging for using this castle. Second Pentad coming down. Yep. They have 4 in hand, active negation, and 3 unknowns. Okay. Inquisition. Let's lead off with Swamp into Inquisition on them. Active negation. Okay. Fine by me. Each player discards a card. They discard a Spoils, meaning definitely probably have ad nauseum. And sure, it doesn't matter when we do this. They don't run discard. Okay, that's not a good card for us, but that's fine. That gives us Liliana fodder. Attack with all. Lily's ult is -6, so we're definitely ulting Lily if we get the chance to give them only 1 land and 1 Pentad Prism each. It's the piles. Pay 3 or lose. Angel's Grace into Ad Nauseam. Let's see it. We dead? Do they have exactly enough? Seachrome Coast. Looks like it. Trying to get to 5 mana. Yep. All right. Lit Ad Nauseam. Have their fun. So it's the multiple Thassa's Oracle list. Good to note. We need to see second monkey. There we go. That's enough to kill us. There's the lightning storm. Yep, we're dead. I will let opponent... Well, he really only has one way to kill us. No. He could exile Simian Spirit Guide, make a mana with Pentad Prism, play Pentad Prism, go Thassa's Oracle. There's that out, and there's also the other out. Yep. That's exactly what they're doing. They're going that. Pentad Prism for 2. And then double blue Thassa's Oracle. Blue Oracle. Yep. Here we go. Sideboarding. Again, pushes are terrible. Surgicals are good. What else do we want? Villages aren't awful. They don't care about their graveyard. Hope they don't run Leyline of Sanctity. Okay. I guess they're trying to figure out what to cut against 8-rack. So, again, we saw that hand had potential to be a bit slow in removing them, and it was. So we need more than 1 hand disruption effect early game. Plus the Lily. We might be able to get this, I don't know. All right. You do? Nice. Yeah, no, I live in North Austin. Small world, ain't it? I would love to take the play. There's an Obosh. Do we think pillage on its own is good enough? Ah, nice. Is pillage and inquisition enough to kill them? Probably not. Yeah, I've been to Mothership a couple of times, and I also, the one that I frequent is Pat's, just because they've been around longer. So I've enfranchised with them more so than I am with Mothership or Dragon's Lair. But yeah, I've been to Mothership and Dragon's Lair. Understandable. It's a really small parking lot and it's not necessarily easy to get in and out of. So it's not a place I really recommend. It's a great store, but it's not a place that I'd necessarily recommend as if you're traveling for an hour to go to a game store. You might not find parking and then you have to know where to park and all this other stuff. But the store itself is great. It's just the parking is not fun to figure out if the lot's full. So turn 1 Inquisition. They go down to 5. So we're hoping that they're not just like trying to find a ley line of sanctity here. Why? Why do I know what they're going to do? So I'm going to go ahead and chalk this one up to a loss. Just from the aspect of we have no way to interact. Let's go ahead and crack this for a Blood Crypt. Tapped. And there's our Bloodstained Mire. So we will be discarding these Thoughtseized Inquisition to the Seasoned Pyromancer. There's a Seachrome Coast. Pentad Prism on 2. Yeah. Looks about right. And then crack this, get the Blood Crypt. No, we're not going to pay 2 life. Have that enter. And we will go ahead and play out the Seasoned Pyromancer. Discard these discard spells. And there we go. That's looking pretty good for us. Land off the top here would be great. Lotus Bloom entered the exile zone. Okay. That's not a land. We still go red, red, black. Skelemental. Okay. Begin combat. Turn them sideways. And there's the Skelemental trigger. They have to go down to 1 card in hand. We lose our Skelemental. So that Lotus Bloom is going to slowly downtick. They've got 1 in hand, so this is probably second Pentad, and then they have Ad Nauseam. So they just need to find an Angel's Grace. Oh, it was an Unlife. Okay. Huh. That's a fun one. Go with Rack. Go with this Shrieking Affliction. And let's unearth this Lightning Skelemental. So maybe it's not a loss. No, I want that to go down, not up. Or 1-1 still. All right. We run it back. They'll be on the play. They'll probably get this win, but hey, can't really do much about it. Skeletal targets. It's slow. I don't like it being slow against them. This is good though. This, keep, pitch, bolt. Let's see if they go with a turn 1 ley line again. No turn 1 ley line. All right. But it is a Lotus Bloom into Island Visions. Okay. Strong start for them. This Visions goes 1 on top, 1 on bottom. Okay. So this Blood Crypt will probably be shocked in for this Inquisition, because I want to get as many cards out of their hand as possible. So they have the Ad Nauseam in hand, but they no longer have Angel's Grace, which is good for us. Next turn we can go Rack plus Affliction. They play out a land and Pentad Prism. Double blue. Okay, yeah, Pentad Prism. They realize that they can't tap that for blue. Okay. And so they are 1 mana short of Ad Nauseam, but they don't have anything else. We really hope that we're going to draw a land off the top here. Specifically either Mountain or Blood Crypt. Yield. This Lotus Bloom is down to 1. They've got 2 cards in hand. Land off the top 1 time. Hey, opponent. Discard 2 cards. They don't want to play that game. There we go. We managed to do it. We beat Ad Nauseam. I thought for sure when they landed that Sanctuary game 2, we had lost. But hey, we didn't. We are going strong. 1 more win and this league is paid for. And there we go. Let's have some fun. We will gladly reveal Obosh. And this is an easy mulligan. We have a 1 land. Keep, because it's Thoughtseize. Like, we'll pitch a Thoughtseize here because we want mana. Dark Slick Shores. I don't like that. Really don't like seeing Dark Slick Shores. Makes me think another Ad Nauseam. Why? Why did I have to be right? Take their unlife. Everyone's playing Ad Nauseam tonight. Blue, red? Oh, so they drew a Pentad Prism. Good for them. They have 4 in hand. So we can just keep this as a swamp for now. Inquisition them. Remove Athasa's Oracle. And play out Arak. And then pass the turn. They play out a City of Brass. So they could go double blue here to Thassa's, yeah. They're scrying. Well, not technically scrying, but you know. The good old pseudo scry. Okay. So Davriel discard. We'll go rack, bolt. Davriel discard doesn't buy us anything. At least getting rid of the Thassa's oracles makes it so they're kind of just stuck on. They've got one more Thassa's oracle main board probably, so they're stuck on basically Lightning Storm. They take 2 off of the rack. So they've got Simian Spirit Guide in hand as one of their cards. And there's another bolt. Black, black, black. Gabrielle. Down tick. I'm assuming monkey's being discarded. Island's discarded. Interesting. So they want to keep their monkey around. They take 2 off the 2 racks. There's a Visions. Draw, and then and Shrieking Affliction. So those are the 8. It's 2 Davriel, 2 Shrieking Affliction, and then 2 rack. Or in 4 rack, my bad. Misspoke. Okay. Blood Crypt enters tapped. We'll have them again discard a card. We're trying to keep them as low as possible. That's a Lotus Bloom. That's pretty good. And then we will pass the turn. Not great for us, but not terrible. Okay, go down to 14. Kroxa isn't bad in a rack build. It's just when we're trying to run Obosh, we have to be odds, so we can't run Kroxa. Black, 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 Lily. Bolt them. Each player discards a card. For the most part, yeah. But I will go to the other stores depending. They're going ahead with ad nauseum here, so they are trying to find whatever they can. Three. Okay. So they went down to 3. Now they have to discard. We will go ahead and make them discard another card. Well, yes, it loses our Davriel. It does put them down to 3. None of the cards that they revealed there were that great. Unlife saves them for a bit, which is the issue. But they now don't have any other mana. Rack will deal 0 to them. They draw 1. My guess is probably Simeon into, yep, into their 3 to Phyrexian Unlife. Yeah, I was like, why would you not tap that Gemstone Mine for black when I have an Orborg? Okay. They go down to 2, but then they have Unlife. And then they Visions to Scry. So they've got 1 unknown and 2 unknowns in hand. Okay. Playing with nothing really. That's a fun card. Uptick. Let's all discard. You go down to 1. They discard a land. Red, red, black, black, black. Obosh, baby. And pass the turn. Goes to -2, goes to 4 infect counters. Kill me now, opponent. Aww. All right. So again, we bring in the surgicals, we bring in the pillage. Only 2, not 3. Because push is an absolute dead card in this matchup. Yeah. Then we run it back. Reveal good old Obosh. As fun as this hand would be to keep, no. Alright, we mulligan. And is better. We can keep this. Bitch. No, we'll pitch an Inquisition. Glad I did that. Okay. Marsh Flats pass the turn. Because we need to get black and red off this Marsh Flats. Lotus Bloom went to exile. I did not mean to hit that one. Oh well. Actually, we can just fetch for black now that we drew that mountain. Shrieking Affliction. Crack. There is only one opponent to choose. Double Suspended Lotus Bloom. Those are some top decks. Mountain. Red 1, Seasoned Pyromancer. Let's get rid of these dead cards. Cool, we got some not dead cards. Keyword is some. So these Lotus Blooms are coming down. There's their second land finally. They go down to 18 in Pentad Prism. Yep. Lily's next turn. Okay. It's a nice one. They go down to 8. They pitch those 2. We have to sacrifice our Skelemental. That's fine. Comes off suspend. Lotus Bloom. So if they have Angel's Grace, we die. Well, Angel's Grace and Ad Nauseam. Else they die. No, they don't die if they don't play anything. So if they play anything here and they don't kill us, we go Obosh, hit them for 4, 5, 6. Rack will trigger. They'll take 2 and be dead. Blue, Oracle. All right, they can block with the Oracle now. Which doesn't save them. This rack triggers way too much. City of Brass. Tap for a black. Spoils. They're praying at this point. Interesting. They found their unlife. Drop that to go get unlife. Yep. So they have 0 in hand. There's no point to play this Lily. We draw Bolt. I like to tap that for a black and then play this and keep the one that's not tapped. Then black, double red, Obosh. Combat. Swing all. They bought themselves a turn, but they can't find Ad Nauseam, so they have to spoils. So they block one of our tokens, that's fine. They go to exactly 0. So they'll lose 3 life, go to -3, and then get 6 counters on them. And this Lotus Bloom comes off of suspension, so Ad Nauseam or bust. All right. There we go. Managing to beat Ad Nauseam not once, but twice this league, and we faced it 3 times. Let's go for this 4-1. Let's Let's see if we can't end on a very high note for the night of 2-4-1s. Not a 5-0, so not as great as we could be, but double 4-1's hard to complain about. Going 8-2 for the night. Okay. Aw. Yeah, queue times are getting a bit long tonight. Another minute in the queue. And I am now out of water. Sad. Oh well. There we go. Final match of the night. Let's get into it. Yeah, we'll take the play. I would like to reveal this Obosh. There we go. Not a lot in terms of what we have for discard early, but it's not terrible because we force them to discard 4 on turn 3 and turn 4. Now we need a bit more early game interaction. We will keep this and bottom the push because Jengatha makes me think it's either humans or Tron. We'll go ahead and fetch Shock Inquisition. Just that way we don't have to pay the life. Okay. Nice and spicy. Brennan 6. Gigantha Niv Mizzet. Okay. This'll be fun. It's a snow-covered forest, plays out that astrolabe. We draw. What do we draw? We draw a push. That's gonna probably be basically useless. So they drew a trophy. I still don't like the thought of them casting Niv Mizzet, so we're gonna get rid of that card. Temple Garden tapped. Yep. Let's go ahead and crack this for a Blood Crypt tapped. So that trophy is going to be an issue. And so is flooding out, apparently. Good to note. So there's the Uro. Fun Uro stuff's gonna happen. So they have enough to... They're missing cards in graveyard to be able to escape. Keep draw. I really don't want to be drawing lands at this point. But it does mean we can Obosh on turn 5. Although they can Gigantha right now. Polluted Delta, fetch. No, don't have to fetch. Second Uro. Okay. Yeah, playing out that Urborg probably wasn't too smart. I should have played out the Blood Crypt tapped instead. Just because we're not doing anything and the Urborg gains them access to black mana. Because now we're going to have to pay some life in order to get this Obosh down. Which feels... Actually, we will put this into play tapped and go with the Thoughtseize plan. Okay. So, Trophy, Declay, Clarion, Guile. We'll get rid of the Decay. No, we'll get rid of the Assassin's Trophy. There's no good answer to any of that. Because those all kind of just answer. Yeah, I know. It's their turn. I'm clearing out the dismissed. Because we know those are the 3 cards. So this Gigantha, maybe, maybe not. Paying costs. Did they draw the Niv Mizzet? Or are they going... They're probably going Uro. Yep. Uro, 5 cards entered. Uro triggers. We're down to 12. Our out here is land Obosh bolt their thing. Then cry as our Obosh just gets Kaya's Guiled. So we haven't really shown much other than we're a Thoughtseize Inquisition deck that runs Obosh. Let's go ahead and concede. We're not drawing anything to get us out of this when they have enough removal in their hand to deal with our board. Village doesn't seem bad. Push seems mediocre from the aspect of lots of their creatures cost more than 3 or more than 2. So we'd have to have a way to reliably trigger Revolt, and we don't. Surgical doesn't seem... Oh wait, they've shown us... I think the lanterns are enough. I think we can warrant bringing in Lantern and cutting a bolt. From the aspect of we can exile their graveyard if they play an Obosh. Situationally, it just depends on if you need the card or not. Lots of times you don't really care if they're grabbing things from their graveyard. Like, we don't necessarily need the surgicals, but we'd want to have graveyard interaction. So that's why we brought in the lanterns. But, you know, it also just depends. Where is surgical really good? Well, if you manage to get a Tron piece into the graveyard against Tron, you can surgical extraction it, and then they are hosed out of the game. This hand doesn't have a turn 2, but that's fine. It's got a turn 1 into multiple turn 3s. Yeah, hits yard, hand, and library. It doesn't hit field. Yeah, that's exactly correct. Okay, so trophy bolt, lab, and an arrow. Get rid of the trophy. Next turn we can go Bloodstained Mire. If we hit a turn 2 thing, use that. Cracks the Vista, goes and grabs some snow-covered thing to be able to Astrolabe. Yep. We draw. What do we draw? A bolt. Okay. We can do that and pass the turn. We don't need to show them that we run bolt. This Castle Lochthwain is going to start coming in nice and handy. There's their second mana. Means they've done this. They've done... So they've got a bolt, which is not great for us. We'll go ahead and fetch. We'll get the mountain. Why not? So because of the bolt, I don't want to show them that we run Skelemental yet. They haven't seen that we run creatures. So hopefully we can get them to ditch their bolt with this Mindrake. They've got 3 unknowns though, so they might not. Okay, so they did. That's good for us. They're down to 4. So if they play land into Uro, hit another land drop, we are looking pretty nice. Because that'll be Skelemental and Rack online. Okay. There we go. There's the Uro. Problem is this Uro will be online not next turn. Well, it will be online next turn if we make them discard, which is awkward. But I think we still have to. Pillage. We'll shock that in. Play out Rack. Then... So this is... green, blue. This is any color. This is green. This is white, black. So they need the Astrolabe to do double blue or double green. We could target that, or we could hit them off of a land. I think slowing them down on the land's the better play than the mana fixer. So we shut off as many possibilities with that. Then we pass the turn. Rack will come in, deal a bit of damage. Well, there's actually none right now. So Flooded Strand gives them their green, green, blue, blue for the Uro. Unfortunate for us. So, but hitting Astrolabe doesn't solve that issue. So this Uro comes down, but then we have Skelemental to try to either force a block or they start taking lots of damage, but they'll be gaining life, more life than the Rack is dealing, so they'll probably just take the 6 one time, discard 2 cards. Yeah, we need 2 lands here to be able to go Obosh Bolt. to deal with this arrow. So it looks like we're okay. There's a land. We will not pay the 2 life. Red, red, black, skelemental. Combat. Swing for 6. See if we can get there. Offer the trade. Come on, you know you want to. No, they don't. Okay, they take 6. They discard 2. Rack will hit them for 1. Or for 2. We have to sacrifice our skelemental. They go down to 14. They have 2 cards in hand, plus drawing a card every turn off this arrow. So we absolutely need to hit a land drop here so that way we can go Obosh into kill arrow. So currently they're using Astrolabe for red mana. Land? Okay. We'll shock this in. Cast. All of these for black. Obosh. Vulture arrow. Hoping that they don't have counterspell. They have the trophy. Unfortunate. So they've got... Yeah, that's just not going to be enough. We kind of flooded out this game. Oh well. Their deck looks very fun. And then the Abrupt Decay to top it off. So I can't be mad losing to a Niv Mizzet deck. Those decks are just too fun when they work. The problem is you gotta get them to work. All right, there we go. Arrow swings in. We take the 6. Do they get to put a land into play? They choose not to if they have a land. We go down to 3. Niv Mizzet? Giganta. Okay. What do we draw? We draw land. All right. So a 3/2's not terrible. But hey. Can't complain. So the rack attack is definitely fun. The Obosh really only came in handy once, but it's not necessarily not what we want to be doing. I just think instead, I think if you're going with this Skelemental and Unearth package, I think we want Kroxa if we're running this package, and if we're running Kroxa, we're dropping Obosh. So there's ups and downs to this. Overall, again, it's not bad. We've got a good amount of discard effects. We've got a good amount of creatures in the Unearth package. We've got the 8 rack effects. We've got removal. Our matchups just weren't that great for the deck, as we saw. I was surprised that we managed to beat Ad Nauseam twice. You kind of want the deck to be relatively synergistic, right? You don't want it to be all over the place. So by having the rack effects and the discard, we're trying to make use of our opponents just not being able to do anything with their hand. But then the Skelemental package also is a discard, but it's also 6 damage to the face. And then the Seasoned Pyromancer is just more draw. And so it's really just discard, removal, rack package, redraws, because the unearths can also be cycled. So there's this entire column with the lightning elementals and the seasoned pyromancers are basically just multiple. They fill 2 roles. It gives us bodies, gives us things to do, or gives us redraws. Yeah, the list felt good. I just misnavigated the first ad nauseam matchup, and then I had no idea what I was doing against the Niv Mizzet deck. We didn't hit our Soul Guide Lanterns. Pillage is probably a bit slow against them. I wouldn't be opposed to possibly a Blood Moon or 2 in the sideboard here, since that's again another 3 mana permanent, and we could fetch for our basic swamps and then Blood Moon. Doesn't seem terrible. But anyway, that's enough chatting. We shall go ahead and end. And